Welcome to Storytime with FarlyCreates. I'm Farly. So this voiceover is actually going to be a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a very true story about how I am currently wanted in Rhode Island. Chapter 1. The realization, the frustration. My tale begins on January 3rd of this year. It was an unseasonably warmer day in Maryland, and I was at my desk, excited to begin the first day of being part-time at my day job. This marked the first day where I took one step closer to achieving my dreams of becoming an artist. And then it happened. An email stating my biggest fears. I had failed a background check? That can't be right. I play by the rules. I get anxiety during movies when someone crosses the line with the law, let alone doing something that would prevent me from getting a part-time job. I call the employer. This can't be right. No, please, run it again. He states, this is our second time our team has to run this check. There's really nothing I can do. I'm sorry. My heart starts to race. My backup plan fell through. I call Abner, bewildered and confused. His reaction is the same as mine. I call my mom. She can't believe it either. I quickly Google what information goes into a background check. I skim over all the categories that a company could choose, and none of them relate to me. My mom finally calls me to ask, have you ever been to Rhode Island? What? She says, well, it says here you have a misdemeanor in Rhode Island. A what? Then she says, sweetie, there's a courthouse on here, so maybe you should try to call them to clarify and see what's going on. And so my quest begins to venture forth and find information on my supposed past. The trials and tribulations that brought me to this point in life. I called the courthouse. No, I'm sorry, ma'am. That information wouldn't be here. You need to try the district courthouse. Oh, my apologies. Thank you so much for the number. The next number rings, and I'm greeted by another automated message. Press 1 for English. Okay. I don't know what to push next. Maybe 2 is my next choice. They don't have a number for, I've never been to your frickin' state, but apparently I have a record there. I finally get someone and explain my situation. But it's the wrong department. They forward me to another one. A voice answered, yeah, as she chomps her gum. Oh, you need to call the county clerk's office. Oh, I apologize. Thank you so much for the number. 'Twas during the county clerk's call, after being transferred twice, they have verified that I do have a misdemeanor and failed to show up in court. So yes, I am currently wanted for arrest. Excuse me? I've never even been to your state before. Well, there's nothing I can do to help you, the annoyed voice on the other end answers back. Here's the public defender's number. Thank you for your time. Ring, ring. Hello. Thank you for calling. Another automated message. Please press 1 for English. After another press of 2 and then 4, hello, comes over the line. I explain my situation once again and the quest to figure out how to resolve this issue. Hold, please. Another voice picks up, this time a little bit more cheery than the last. She states her name. At this point, my good nature is falling a little flat. I explain my situation, and the voice on the other end says that this matter has to go through BCI, which I later learn is the Bureau Criminal Investigation. She lets me know that I need fingerprints, and they will send them to BCI in Rhode Island. I start to actually cry from relief. Thank you so much. You can tell she pities me, and with a strong voice states, well, good luck to ya. I hop online and look up a place to get my fingerprints near me. I find 3 and find the best deal, and things are looking a little brighter. I made an appointment and quickly made it out the door. I contact who is supposed to be my future employer, let's call him T, and he breathes out a sigh of relief. Well, I think it's half relief and half disbelief that this is happening. I feel like once I get these prints, I can send them to this BCI place and all will be done. After I explain the situation, he lets me know that my quest to clear my name will not go unrewarded. I will be able to work there once this is all cleared up. Happiness spreads through my body as I continue to drive. I arrive safely and finish talking to T. The weather is pretty nice, so I even find myself humming as I step through the sliding doors. Onward and upward. Everything will be okay. The prints go well, and the woman who helped me is very quiet but very sweet. She too looks at me with pity as I explain my story while she's pressing my fingers to the scanner. She prints my card and sends me on my way after I pay. Thank God, I mumble to myself. I get home and realize that I have no idea where to actually send the prints. I was told by the public defender's office that the fingerprinting place would send them, but when I asked all of the locations I called, they didn't have a clue as to what she meant by that. It was up to me to do it. I call the public defender's office again, but my contact is out for the day. I will have to wait and call tomorrow. Chapter 2. The wait continues. I'm greeted with the buzzing of my alarm clock. What a restless sleep I had. But wait, I have to call the public defender's office to get the address, and then all of this will finally be finished. Ring, 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 ring. Thank you. For English, press 1. I press 1, I press 2, I press 4. Luckily, I wrote down all the prompts to every place I spoke to yesterday. Hello? Yes, hello. I called yesterday. Ma'am, there's nothing else I can do for you. My once cheerful contact actually sounds annoyed now. I move past as I explain that I have no address to send this to. She reluctantly gives me the number. Why didn't you give me this number yesterday? Passes through my head, but I let it go. Thank you so much for your time, I reply. I dial the number. More options to choose from. I talk to a young man who listens to my story. He directs me to a portion on their site and informs me that the people who do the fingerprints need to fill it out. I'm a little annoyed, so that means I have to go back to the place I originally got the fingerprints? Okay. And then for more information, he transfers me to the head of the fingerprinting department. We shall call this person Mr. M. Yes, hello? Says a gentleman on the other line. At this point, I feel a little desperation creep into my soul. How many times am I going to have to explain the situation? I'm the innocent one. He pulls up my name and asks if I know a person. Insert here, I'm not going to say her name. I let him know I do not. He asks if I've ever lived in Newport. No. Have you ever been to Rhode Island even? No. I'm sure it's lovely though, and he chuckles. I doubt you'll want to come now, he jokes. This makes me smile a bit, as if he's seen this before and I can rest easy. So I actually end up chuckling as well. As we continue to talk, he's confirmed in his mind that this person is not me. During our conversation, he asked for body identifiers, and then he said that this person that was arrested had a neck tattoo. She was also Caucasian. I said, well, I have one tattoo on my wrist, but I'm definitely Asian in appearance, sir. He laughs again and asks for the last four of my social. It's finally confirmed that I am not this person in the computer, as her social was different. Well, I have some bad news, he says. This is not what I wanted to hear. I have to ask you to get fingerprinted at a police station. That's the only way we can cross-reference the prints. He reminds me of the form on the website and lets me know that it will be okay. It will always be associated with my name, but once clearance goes through, they will send me a form that says I have no criminal activity in Rhode Island. It's something I will have to show every person or company who tries to do a background check on me. I thank him for his time after getting his full name and mailing address. I'm not making the mistake of not having somewhere to send it. Then I hop on the website of the police station to find out they only fingerprint Tuesdays and Thursdays. More waiting. I make my appointment for the earliest slot available, which will be the following Tuesday. I breathe in deeply as I try to focus on what I need to do next, when I realize I've done all I can at this point, and all I can do is wait. Chapter 3. The Interim. As I wait for my appointment, I talk to my cousin, who is a lawyer. She and I discussed everything associated with what was happening, and I couldn't be more grateful to her. It was a little disheartening to hear how common this was, and that it was such a random coincidence that this person used my information. She suggested I try to file this as a crime against me. For some reason, I hadn't even thought of that. We eventually hung up, and I felt lighter having talked to her. Tuesday finally comes, and I'm so excited to get this thing sorted out. The day is here, the day is here, I keep chanting to myself. I quickly get ready and leave for my appointment. I'm greeted by gruffs and short answers, but I'm too happy to even care. The man takes me in the room to get my fingerprints scanned. He can barely hear a word I'm saying, but I don't mind. I'm getting my name cleared finally. He hands me the piece of paper to take to the front for payment, and I have him fill out the form Mr. M had pointed me to. After I pay, the woman sighs and then says that my criminal activity report will be mailed to me in about a week. I stop from turning around, and I can feel my heart beating faster. So, when do I get my fingerprints? She looks confused. Fingerprints? We're not allowed to give you fingerprints. I tell her that's the entire reason why I came here. I need fingerprints to send to Rhode Island. I didn't need fingerprints to tell me my criminal history. I have no criminal history. I can start to feel tears well up behind my eyes, and I feel stuck once again. She looks at me and says, "That's all I can do for you." Why does everyone keep telling me this? This is my life. I can't start a job because of this insane person using my information to get out of a misdemeanor and then skipping court. Why won't anyone help me? I walk out the door and call Abner. Fury and rage is inside me now, and I completely snap. I stand in front of the police station, waving my arms as I explain to him what's happened. Everything that I had been holding back for the past week comes flooding out through tears and curse words. All of this going on while police officers are walking by, probably looking at me like I've lost my mind. I've had it, though. I'm stepping into that police station and demanding I talk to someone to help me figure this out. Why is there such a disconnect between states? Where's the consistency? In a huff, I walk into the police station and ask to speak to someone. I am the victim of identity theft. Why does that feel so trite to say out loud? But I push forth. I need to talk to someone. I sit. More waiting continues. While I was waiting, I ended up meeting a very nice woman who actually had several complaints to talk to the police about. A nice officer, Officer F, listens very patiently and gives her direct responses. One thing in particular he cannot help with, but he directs her on how to solve the problem. His helpfulness gives me hope that I've come to the right place. With her problems listened to, she waves to me enthusiastically and exclaims that it was nice to meet me, which actually puts a smile on my face. I end up waiting there for quite a while before a man in civilian clothing asks me to step into a room with him. A man we shall call CS. As I am explaining all of this, I find myself actually laughing. I feel like if I didn't laugh, I'd cry at this point. I was just done with this entire situation. He patiently listened to me as I explained everything I knew. The person's name, her ethnicity, her body identifiers, who I've talked to, what information has come about that, how many times I've got fingerprinted, everything that's gone on. The fact that Rhode Island can't accept fingerprints from a private entity, but Maryland's police won't give me fingerprints. He scoffed at the fingerprints needing to come from a police force and joked that he didn't even think they had an ink pad anymore. As he was checking on an item to try to help me, he poked his head in and said to not go anywhere because he might need to arrest me, and I laughed so hard. Finally, he told me the basic information I had already known, but he said he would call Mr. M personally and explain the situation. I was grateful, but honestly, I had lost hope that this would be resolved. The thought of me actually having to drive to Rhode Island to get my fingerprints taken put a very dark cloud on the next few hours. So dark that I actually called Mr. M in Rhode Island and left him a few choice words when I got his voicemail. I had finally snapped. My breaking point had been reached. How was I going to get a job? How was I going to truly try to make it as an artist if I had no income for the interim? Finally, ring, 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 ring. My phone flashed a Maryland number. It was CS. He stated that he had spoken with Mr. M and that I needed to call him. He wished me good luck and told me that he hoped I stayed out of trouble as he chuckled again. I laughed back at his joke, but it was a nervous laughter. I didn't know what to expect when I called Mr. M. I dialed the number, press 1 for English, more prompts to follow. May I speak to Mr. M, please? Yeah, sure, was the reply I received. Ring, ring, hello? Yes, hello, this is Mr. M actually cut me off. Oh yes, I was expecting your call. I received your voicemail. There was a slight pause. I quickly apologized that I had been so abrupt on the voicemail. I just felt desperate at this point. Do I need to drive to Rhode Island? I asked. He said, no. I just don't understand why Maryland can't take fingerprints and send it to us. Which I found this funny since CS said that he didn't know why Rhode Island couldn't just take the fingerprints from the private entity. Don't worry. Send me all the documents you have, including the fingerprints from the other place. CS let me know Maryland's policies. We have no other choice but to accept those. Relief washed over my body as I heard the news. I wouldn't have to drive to Rhode Island. I won't be wanted there anymore. Now, the tale isn't over quite yet, as I just sent over the documents yesterday. So please keep your fingers crossed that this all goes well, and I can receive my documentation soon. But the moral of the story is get a background check on yourself every once in a while. You never know who used your name to escape the law.